So my cheese strategy with the Mongols is now yielding pretty interesting results. Basically, I'm trying to do a type of scout rush here, and the person I'm playing against is Diamond 2, and they're also playing as Mongols. And I basically am interested in this idea of how you can kind of use manipulation to get an advantage in game. So at this point in the match, I'm basically telling the person like, "Oh, have you played Mongols before?" And I'm acting super new, and I'm gonna specifically try to convince this person that first, I don't know what I'm doing, and then second, I want them to basically stumble into a trap. So the trap is gonna be me sending a villager behind their base and building 6 stables, massing scouts, and then burning down their landmarks to achieve victory. And to do this, I'm kind of some of the things, some of the actions, I guess, are very different than what you traditionally see from a Mongol player. So I'm not building an uvu to produce stone, which is like something that would be useless for me, but also it kind of flags me as being really bad. Like if I'm not building an uvu, they're gonna think I'm shit, which is essentially true. Uh, and then also, I'm not going to be mining gold to age up because I'm not planning on ever aging up. But then they're also going to see that thinking I'm also bad. And then I have this gur sitting here, and I could use this to harvest wood a little bit more effectively. However, I'm instead going to use it to just continually reinforce this idea that I'm really bad. So at this point in the match, the person's kind of like giving me advice and stuff, and they are they're playing. You know, they're trying to age up. They're going with the traditional Mongol spear rush or tower rush. At this point, I see his Khan or his scout crossing to my side. So I'll switch back to my view. And I know at this point, okay, his scout's going to move across behind my base. I'm going to be able to sneak my villager out and get behind his at this point. So I'm going to start speeding things up to show you what I'm doing. I'll actually reveal all. So he sees me. At this point, he's like, "Hey, you need to get your GUR active." So I'm like, "Okay, I'll get it active." So I go to suicide my GUR into his base, knowing that it's going to be like, he's going to be shocked with how bad I am. Right now, he's checking out my base. And basically, the funny thing is, so he has these spearmen. Normally, what you do is you block someone's access to gold or something like that, or their wood. But since my town center is right on the wood, and I'm putting all my sheep onto my town center, there's nothing really for him to do there, uh, which is there's a certain irony to that. So now I'm getting into his view. I'll show you from his perspective. He's just scouting everything out. He's already aging up to feudal. He's going for the trading landmark, silver tree. So I just roll my GUR right into his base. And I'm actually using this to scout. Like I'm trying to see what he's up to. So I'm gonna try to see like, oh, he's building silver tree. So he's gonna start trading. At the same time, I'm actually sneaking my villager all the way out behind his base and starting to build my stables here. One interesting thing here is that he almost catches me because I realize almost too late that he's going to be bringing out silver tree to trade. He's probably going to be using this trader. He's going to spot my scouts. So I'll speed up a little bit here. So now I'm just trying to waste his time a little bit. To be honest, it's not worth it, except in the idea that he's going to think I'm really, really bad. So I know he's going to bring his silver tree out because I scouted it with my GUR, my suicide GUR. So then what I did was I moved all my stables, and this is like a something only the Mongols can do. They can pack and unpack their buildings. So now this is when I start massing my scouts. He starts trading. And now I'm thinking, well, if I'm massing my scouts here and he's trading here, he probably isn't ever going to spot me. So that's the idea at least. So I'll show you the map, his map. He actually came really close to spotting me there too. But he doesn't see me. He's trading. Put my con here. I'm just kind of observing. I start to get the idea that, well, normally if I'm going to try to do this type of scout rush, I want their base to be really compact so I can burn everything down fast. But then my idea became, well, I'm going to build a few scouts back here. I'm going to use my villagers and my scouts to burn down this landmark. And then I'm going to go into his base with my other scouts. And you can see I've amassed about 30. I try to build about at least 60 to 70 scouts to do this. He still doesn't see me. He's kind of just looking around my base. He can't really attack me under the town center yet. If he really wanted to, he probably could have ram rushed me, but he doesn't do it. And now he's starting to age up to castle. And I think he actually tells me this. So I'm like, all right, well, I need to do something. So this is when I pull all my villagers and the scouts in my base. I don't want him to see this. This is really risky. And I decided I'll send some of the scouts in my base to his main base as well, because I started getting worried that I wouldn't be able to destroy it with 2 landmarks. So now this is when I'm sneaking my villagers over. And I'll show this now from his view. So he still doesn't see anything. This is when he's advancing with his first kind of small army, but you know, he thinks I have no clue what I'm doing, so I don't think he's really expecting much here. Building his second TC. I don't really know why exactly he's going for a long game, but this is probably just his build. He's kind of booming, right? He's putting a lot of his resources into trade, building 2 TCs. He knows I'm not doing anything, so I guess he can be greedy, but at the same time, you know. All right, so now he's stumbling on my base. Now this is a tell. I have 1 scout moving on his base. Now look at this. And this is when I said, you know, I think I built too many scouts, right? So he's trying to run with his landmark here. It gets stuck on the gold, and then I surround it. And at the same time, I start burning down his silver tree landmark. Cat. That's burning. That's going to destroy itself. I saw he pulled his villagers. So now this is a kind of a funny part. So now he's just massacring this massed scout army here. I have 80 scouts here. And he's trying to repair. He has a ton of wood. But I know as I burn this down, he's going to be spending money repairing. So the idea here is I want to exhaust his wood supply. And I was honestly getting pretty nervous here. His army's getting back. It seemed like he had a big stockpile of wood, which he did. 800 wood's a ton. By then, I've actually burnt down this landmark, and I'm sending my villagers up to attack as well. And I think at this point, he realizes that he got tricked, and it's looking pretty close to good game. I didn't know this at the time because he was still healing up. But then I see, boom, okay, he stopped healing his landmark or his TC. He's out of wood. And now I'm just going to go burn it down. And so far I've done this strategy. I've actually beaten quite a few players that are way better than me. And everyone's taking it really well. I think they realize they just got tricked, kind of scammed into a loss. And I find that quite funny.